Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back
Hello,
to
hello.
SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. And welcome back to Sci-Fi Sundays. We're back
Here we are.
with
Death
some
Star.
crazy stuff to talk about. Something that I think people have been wanting to talk about and been itching to have happen for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it today. The goods, the bads, the uglies, the intricacies. Because there's plenty of it. It's great to see you again, too. Everybody here. Thank y'all for hanging with us on a Sunday morning or evening, wherever you are. Appreciate it. We doing a lot of things with Sunday, with your Sunday, and we appreciate you spending it here.
Yes, we do.
That being said, Sarah, how are you and what did you see this week? What were you watching?
What was I watching this week? Well, it's hockey season, so there's always a lot of that.
Mhm.
But I watched a little Star Trek, of course, our usual Farscape Fallout. Been going to see the Lord of the Rings re-release in theaters with my daughter. So did that Friday night yesterday and going to see Return of the King today. So that's exciting. And it's been awesome watching it in the theater again. I've been really loving it. And also reminded how many memes come from those movies.
So many.
Mhm.
Did Kurtzman step down? Will we get proper Star Trek now? Oh wait, wrong fandom. That is pretty good. The right order, chronological order, right? That's always the right order to watch most franchises in, right? Just to make sure that they are in sync with one another and in the same thing as a whole. We'll see if Star Trek is or not. Anyway, what I watched this week, I did watch Fallout Farscape, of course. No, I watched Percy Jackson. That's what I keep forgetting to mention every week because I am trying to keep up with the Percy Jackson show right now, and it's all right. It's a kid show. It's a kid show. I can't really say much past that. It's for the faults it has. It's a kid show. The ups it has, it's pretty cool at times. You know, it has some good moments, but it's moments more so than anything there. I did watch with my roommate last night and a buddy of ours, Reign of Fire, the old Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey dragon movie. And I know it's cheesy. I know it's not the best movie ever. But it you know, I've always said I only have like two comfort movies. Reign of Fire might be the one that I kind of just can put on at any time when I'm just kind of, oh yeah, you know. And I think it's kind of turned into a comfort movie over the years, and I like it a lot. But besides that, I went to go see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and y'all heard me gush about it twice in two different streams this week, and this is the moment where I get to gush for a little bit more. It's so good. Nia DaCosta, I liked her in Candyman. I mean, as a director in Candyman, I thought she brought that back really well. I thought The Marvels was a little bit better than I expected it to be. Actually, a lot bit better than I expected it to be, than I think most of us did. And it was a really fun little movie. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is oh my God, it's beautiful, it's serene, it's terrifying. It's a horror movie that is leans into the horrific aspect of it all. It's, oh God, it's fantastic. Also, oh, I switched the banner, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh. Maybe I did that when I clicked over. I don't know. Yeah. Reign of Fire is great. Great. But yeah, no, I can't gush more about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I think Ray Fiennes' Dr. Ian Kelson is maybe and easily one of my favorite characters of anything in the last 5 years. And I think he's going to just, well, not to spoil anything, of course. I'm very happy to see how this character goes down in the books. I hope the movie makes more money, so go see it, y'all. Go see it. But hey, Danny Boyle produced anything, Alex Garland written anything, I'm there in a heartbeat. Reign of Fire reboot, How to Not Train Your Dragon. That's actually so true. So, okay, we've seen some good stuff this week, and we've talked it. Dave Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brennan have now taken over Lucasfilm from Kathleen Kennedy as she steps down. Are these exciting times? Are these trepidatious times? Are they just truly cautionary, not even stepping on trepidatious? Or is it more of a wait and see?
I am a wait and see. I'm willing to be open-minded and give new leadership a chance, see what they do. Am I super hopeful it's going to be like great again? I don't know about that, but I will give them a chance.
So I think there might be a second opinion here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got somebody else.
Yo.
Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it something to be trepidatious, truly cautionary about, or you celebrating, you clapping, you're doing a happy dance in the background, or is it a wait and see? Truly
a wait and see.
Yeah. I agree.
What were y'all's natural instincts, though?
Well, for me, it was finally, finally, what, 2 or 3 years in the making,
if not 4. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she had her contract wasn't renewed. It ran out over a year ago anyway. So,
right.
So she was technically her own interim leadership position as well, in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it took them 18 months to come up with this shit. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Which is it's the most logical thing that they ever could have done with what they had piece-wise. Just from the most like simplicity basis. I don't know if it's the most logical approach for how Lucasfilm should be headed up in general, and we will see that over the next few years, of course. But I'm with you. As much as I didn't want that feeling to be there, because I'm even over just griping about Kathleen Kennedy. As much as I am a Star Wars fan, and y'all know me, I adore Star Wars, grew up with it, and I know it pretty damn well, not perfectly, but I might know it better than most, if not any other franchise, you know? And I'm so out of love with it right now. The only needle movement I got was, it wasn't even a finally, I guess. It was more of a, there we go. And that was almost just because of the movement that we've seen with Prime since Jennifer Salke left. And just having those two parallels, and Jennifer Salke at Prime is a much smaller parallel than what Kathleen Kennedy's done as the true head of Lucasfilm at Disney and Lucasfilm over there. Just seeing the movement that Prime has made since as a company with their best franchises going forward and putting their best foot forward as often as possible since then. I'm excited for where Disney can go, and I think it's long overdue. And like I just said, I'm so tired of being tired of Star Wars that I don't even have the energy, I think, to belittle Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, she did this so bad. She did that so bad. We were there the whole time. We know what she did well. We know what she did bad. Ready Player One, not Ready Player One. I keep saying that. Rogue One and Andor. Some of my favorite Star Wars. Rogue One, some days, is my favorite Star Wars film. And Andor is just it's a beautiful thing, and I'm excited to see where this will go. Kind of trepidatious because I don't think Andor and Rogue One are where Filoni and Brennan are going to necessarily push the franchise, so that'll be interesting. I'd much more like to think about where we can go with Star Wars rather than where we've been the last 10 years, because we've spent a lot of time talking about that. But nonetheless, it's good to acknowledge and accept and move forward, as they say. Because Kathleen Kennedy, one way or another, is an amazing producer. She's had one of the best careers of any producer that there's ever lived. You know, she's worked with Spielberg and George Lucas and you name it, time and time again.
Yeah,
she wasn't right for Lucasfilm at the end of the day.
No.
Well, working with some great people doesn't make her good. Never did.
Well, I mean, she is
Yeah.
executive producing alongside of them, so she has a lot of responsibility, power as well during that time and on sets and stuff, but mostly responsibility with that. So I don't want to take away any of that because she was not some glorified coffee runner for the last 40 years. She was one of the most successful producers that literally the world has ever seen.
Even though there was actually a clip going around of her actually serving coffee.
Yeah, but hey, then again, we all bring coffee to the office every now and then. We all.
I mean,
bring
wasn't she a secretary to start off with, and then that's why she was making the coffee?
Well, yeah,
she
in
literally
maybe
part of her
the
job.
80s. In the 80s, not any time since then.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, I remember seeing their faces when she was handing them their coffee. They're like reluctant. So she's probably not even a very good coffee maker.
Hey, mods, can y'all help out in there a little bit? We're getting a little wild with the mods. No, not with the mods, with whoever Gloria is keep popping up. Quickly ban and get out of there, or just time out something. Anyway, she will have a varied legacy depending on who you're talking to. I think it's important to look back at it as a whole, but we're talking about Lucasfilm right here. And that legacy is tainted and tarnished one way or another. No matter who you are, it is a little funky. It might be just the easy way to say that, one way or another. But she has at least bolstered a decent crew with Dave Filoni being George Lucas's, protege himself as chief creative officer, who's now CCO and president. I don't know if he's CEO and president. I don't know exactly who's CEO now technically, because I know they've just said president. But what do we feel about Dave Filoni taking over? Is this going to be in animation only and George Lucas centric story only, or do we have the possibility of getting Knights of the Old Republic?
I think we all know where it's going to go. Ahsoka's going to be everything. Ahsoka's his baby. Ahsoka's going to be everywhere.
Yeah. Is there another season of that coming?
There is.
Okay, awesome.
And if mods, I'm sorry, that's distracting. David, quick, or Monk, somebody.
It depends on what stream they're on. I don't think they're on the same one.
Oh, that makes sense because it's all on the phone chat. Yeah, come on. Well, be reasonable, human beings. Come on now. Anyway, it was in the other stream. We'll figure that out. Anyway, we were just talking about Dave Filoni, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so I grew up calling him God Emperor Dave Filoni because I love this stuff so much. Every single piece of media that Dave Filoni put out while I was growing up was some of my favorite Star Wars, if not just what was on TV in general during that time. Clone Wars, growing up with that was a blast.
Yeah. No,
Rebels.
Those are good shows. Yeah, I enjoyed those. Yeah,
I think Rebels might be my favorite Star Wars. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's so much more fleshed out and drawn out, and huge Rip Ray Stevenson. And I really do like Bad Batch. Resistance wasn't necessarily Filoni; it was more Justin something. I forget his name off the top of my head. Justin Ridge, I think.
Resistance.
And Filoni did Avatar: Last Airbender. Did one of my favorite things, if not my actual favorite thing ever. He's fantastic. He is a creative like few others. But as we've all seen, he tends to pigeonhole himself. Now, not necessarily with animation. He has gone into the live action world and he did all right with it. I'm not as big of a fan of Ahsoka as a lot of people are, and I think that's because my expectations were so high, but I had 20 years of expectations to be met, and they weren't remotely met. Not even remotely met. Ray Stevenson and What's her name? That plays.
First, let's get it right. It wasn't Ahsoka. The show's not called Ahsoka. Just because it's got the title, it was all about Sabine.
Sure.
Everything that happened was to Sabine. Plain and simple. It was like the Book of Boba Fett. That was Mandalorian, like 2.5 or something.
Yeah. And this felt like Rebels 2.5 in a lot of ways, and I think it was meant to be. But if it were to be that, give me Zeb, give me more Ezra. Rosario. I thought Rosario did just fine. The thing that I was not worried about, that made me eye roll just a tad, was the direction that she was getting from, sadly, Filoni and others. Was you need to be stoic right now, so the only way you can be stoic is to stand there and just half brood, not full brood, but half brood the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't be Ahsoka without the good old. That wouldn't be Ahsoka without the good old crossed arms.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but she does it for a few moments, and then she's bubbly and character driven, and does so many, like, just the entire time she's animated, whether it be young or old or in between and Bad Batch, she's very fluid with motion, and of course that is an animation. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing. For the series of Ahsoka, I think Ahsoka was played quite a lot different to what we saw in Clone Wars and that. So we know that there's stuff that's happened off screen, so in the background, that Ahsoka's been through. And the Mandalorian is what's shown us, basically, she was in the universe, she was doing things sort of after the Clone Wars, so we know she was there. Yeah. We know that she was involved in the rebellion somehow, some way. I mean, where was she in the other movies?
Well, you got to watch Rebels.
She didn't exist. Yeah. But at the same time, I think a lot of people expected her to be the same as she was in Clone Wars in the show.
Yes.
She's I thought
everything she's been through.
Older,
she's been fighting
dated.
the Empire and stuff like that since. So she's been through a lot. She's probably lost a lot of people, so she's going to be different.
Right.
You can't have it the same as you had it in the animated series.
Pretty young in the animated series too, right? So now she's got some.
Well, yeah, she was still
years
child,
under her belt, and she's been through war, and her mentor turns evil, and all this stuff. So yeah.
I just find it interesting that she's that way, that she was written that way when Rebels ends after her being trapped between time and then coming out of time and out later on the timeline than she was expecting. She was non-existent in the timeline for a couple of years, according to Rebels and the World Between Worlds, and she comes out much more serene. She comes out driven and focused, like Gandalf the White. And we just get back to Gandalf the Gray the second she's back in gray robes. It's not some white cool hoodie, and who knows? Obviously Star Wars has shown kind of whether you're on the light side or the dark side through thematic clothing and stuff like that in the past, and it felt like the steps had been taken to do that, and then they weren't kept. Where was her cool Gandalf staff that she had at the end of Rebels? I mean, just simple moments that should have been kept to go forward. And one thing that I do worry about with Dave Filoni, I'm going to bring something up that Monk said as we started this chat, and I put it up as we were doing our minute and a half before the show started. Filoni's in charge now. Everyone who hasn't seen Clone Wars and Rebels won't understand what's happening unless they watch over 80 hours of TV. That's going to be a big thing. But before we get to that, I do want to bring up the fact that Filoni, even in animation, being the chief creative officer and George Lucas's protege, where George didn't necessarily love the extended universe as much as he liked the stuff that he created and wrote for the films. He said, you know what, these parts of the books are cool.
He did approve a lot. Don't forget, he did approve a lot.
He approved all of it, and then he stayed within the confines of what he approved. Yeah. Now,
he always approved of the stuff that fit into his imagination of what Star Wars universe is. Anything,
the thing
anything that's not approved by him, he just
he didn't
nothing to do
enjoy.
with it.
He said that's not part of it. That's not quote unquote canon.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that's always been a little confusing to me about Dave Filoni, and I think is going to be worrisome with him being in charge now to a degree. He is very. He has continuously throughout his series changed novelizations, comic books, graphic novels, even details in video games. Whenever he brings them to, whether it be animation or live action, he changes quintessential and fundamental, but not huge aspects of characters, of events that happen, like the way that the Ahsoka fight happens and she gets to unbleed the red lightsabers into white lightsabers, and she gets her 2 new sabers and builds those, are very different in the Ahsoka novel than they are in Tales of the Jedi. Now, I love the Tales of the Jedi episode, but the Ahsoka novel is so much more meaningful. So before we even get into the whole animated aspect and we'll never leave the Skywalker saga with Filoni in charge, does he even? I worry that he's even going to try to keep it intact with how much he's willing to change and has been willing to change in the past. What is canon? Is this guy even remotely cautious about canon, or does he fine tune it how he feels fit as often as possible? Because the latter, even though I am a huge Dave Filoni fan, it's always thrown me off, and I've never loved how he just kind of willy-nilly. Oh, look, these people that Lucasfilm paid, the company that I'm now in charge of. Yeah, sure, it was a couple years ago, but we paid them to write this book. They spent 1.5 years of their life putting it together, making sure it was on paper, making sure all of these nitty-gritty details were put into the right places. Yeah, that was nice and all, and I really, really like the themes and the elements of it, but I'm only going to take this bit because it doesn't fit 100% what I want it to. So I'm going to make it in my show the way I want it to, because now you're visually seeing it. Yeah. What you see is canon. Stop reading.
Right. There's no source material, right?
Yeah. Well, there's no.
We won't even go there right now.
Comment. I'm so glad that we'll never get that comment again. But then again, like Chief Creative Officer, and hey, we'll bring up a sore subject here: the Acolyte. Dave Filoni could have said no to Ki-Adi-Mundi at any time, and if he's being a good Chief Creative Officer, you're supposed to have eyeballs on that. If he didn't see it, he didn't see it, and so be it, and that's a shame.
Right.
It's the biggest shame that it's his job to see that. He is the Chief Creative Officer. Now he is I don't know if he's Chief Executive Officer, but he's the president and co-president there. And Star Wars has been nitty-gritty for a very long time, right, wrong, or indifferent, better or worse. Star Wars is nitpicky, and you got to get into the nitty-gritty to get there. And I don't know if Dave Filoni's willing to be as nitty-gritty as we always thought he was. He's proven that he doesn't necessarily want to be. I'm scared to see how that. I actually.
He wants to put his own stamp on it.
Yeah, he wants to put his own stamp on it, but is that going to be at the behest of George Lucas?
Because he doesn't care so much about that.
George Lucas' legacy? I'm kind of worried about it, honestly.
Right. Unless he feels like he's kind of taking on Lucas's mantle, but he's doing it in his way. And so he's not really, he's like, I'm taking it this direction. Maybe he's not so worried about what Lucas wants to do because he's kind of fading out.
Kind of. I don't know. He also brought George Lucas on Ahsoka season 1 and 2 to be there. But I feel like Filoni's become much more jaded of a person over time. And there's a lot of the few moments that he's shared politics, the few moments that he's shared inner workings and stuff like that leads you to think that he's more jaded than you'd expect. Because I would think that he's just happy-go-lucky nerd guy that is obsessed with Star Wars and wants to get the best project and products out for Star Wars that he can. Yeah,
that was my impression.
I don't see that anymore. I haven't seen that in the last few years. Quest, do you are you kind of on a similar wavelength? I mean, we don't want to get too politically into the aspects of their own personal lives, but do you think Dave Filoni is interested more in his own stamp or providing the George Lucas stamp? Or at this point,
I'd be more concerned that he's more worried about his wife's personal stamp on things.
That's what I meant by his personal stamp as well.
Some of the worst things that they've added to Star Wars have been because his wife, said, "Oh, that'd be a good idea."
Yeah, they're and hey, this happens all over Hollywood. You see Barbie, and that's Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. You see Narnia. I think Noah Baumbach's helping out with that as well. You see James Gunn and his wife come to mind, but she's not helping him write. The Ross Duffer, his wife. We talked about Stranger Things a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. No, actually a week ago today, actually. And she was kind of, it seems at least, the reason that it was pieced together as well as it was through the first 4 seasons. And the final season didn't have the person to piece it together, and there it is. Now, having that person who is your biggest supporter in the world help you support or help support you in your business and stuff is amazing. It's awesome.
Stanley's, I believe she is into the occult. Yes.
But yeah, it is.
At least that's what I've read.
That yeah. A spouse can make a lot of difference in a TV show at times, and it's interesting to, I guess, just see how that affects the industry in different aspects of it. I think we've seen how it does affect Lucasfilm, and I guess that is a little bit worrisome because, yeah, I guess, hey, I like occult stuff. I like witchy voodoo stuff. I'm from 20 minutes from Louisiana. New Orleans is one of the big cities right next to me. I like some voodoo kind of witchy kind of stuff, but not bringing it to the real world. It's more of a historical, mythological kind of thing where it's like, that's really interesting. I love that people thought about this kind of stuff and think about it this way. Very different than what, it's more of a curiosity thing than let's base a lifestyle off of it. And yeah, it seems like the occult has entered Lucasfilm a little bit over the last few years. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Better or worse. Whether one way or another, The Night Sisters.
Night Sisters, yeah. I was going to say Night Witches, but it's sisters.
The best occult stuff ever. I love those witches. Acolyte witches I could do without. But
yeah,
the Night Sisters are amazing, and I really am sad that Claudia Black's not going to be in Ahsoka season 2 in Disney.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Pay her what she's worth. Are you just prodding an actor along for a year or two?
Yeah.
Wasn't she not killed off?
No. She was not. She's still very much alive. And the Night Sisters were supposed to have a very big role and are going to have a big role going forward. And they weren't willing to up her pay raise or up her pay a little bit to where she needed. And she's like, I got to find other jobs because I can't do this and also feed my family,
Yeah.
And hey, it's Claudia Black. She's the queen of sci-fi on TV. Like Sigourney Weaver, queen. Well, I guess Katie Sackhoff and Claudia Black are probably fighting for queen of sci-fi on TV, where Sigourney Weaver is queen of sci-fi on film. Just for sheer quality and quantity, both.
Yeah.
All that being said, I hope Dave Filoni comes in with a fresh pair of eyes. I hope that my hope is that, hey, I don't have to handle the monetary aspect of this, which is probably, if I had to guess, the part that stresses him out the most. He doesn't come from a financial monetary type of background. I don't think he's interested in trying to figure out CFO type jobs. Lin-Manuel Brennan, hey, that's what she does. I think she'll do a just fine job there. I'm not as familiar with Lin-Manuel Brennan. She's been there since day one with Kathleen Kennedy, I believe, though. I don't think there was someone in her position prior to her.
That is a huge concern for me.
And that is also a huge concern for me. Not because I don't think she can handle money, but because cool, everyone in Hollywood does some fancy finance in one way or another. You know, if you're in that position, you're okay enough to deal with money, most likely, where you can make a project happen or not. That part I'm not worried about. The part that I'm worried about is I don't know if Dave Filoni's breadth of scope is wide enough. And I don't think Lin-Manuel Brennan's breadth of scope is wide enough to instill confidence in where Star Wars can go. And with the projects that have come out since Lin-Manuel Brennan was in charge of finances to a degree, she's not CFO, so she's not fully in charge of finances, but she was, we just looked it up. What was the actual definition? PVP or something like that?
EVP,
anyway,
but it wasn't executive vice president. It was something else.
Evaluator, something. Whatever it was. She was in charge of evaluating money and making sure it was meeting its standards across the board at Lucasfilm. And she was the general manager of Lucasfilm as well. So during this time period, they released the most divisive trilogy that they've ever done. Right, Wrong, or Indifferent. And Solo. And I'm a big Solo person. I actually thoroughly enjoy Solo. I wish it was more Christopher Miller and Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. I was like, what is Lord's first name? Phil. I wish the two of them had been able to actually complete it, but Ron Howard did just a fine job. I think he did a fine job doing it. And
that's a good question.
Yeah.
That being said, though, the most divisive thing Lucasfilm has ever done, trying to double down on doing the opposite of what Rian Johnson did by rehiring JJ and doing that, was not just a Kathleen Kennedy thing. You know who he has to talk to first is Lin-Manuel Brennan, general manager of the whole entirety of Lucasfilm.
Yep.
So there's a process here of the most financial struggle that Lucasfilm has ever seen, if I can speak English here. I'm starting to speak Star Wars languages. I'll be writing an Arabesh here too soon if we're not careful. Okay, I'm struggling to come up with the right question to ask you, but I guess I'm just worried about the scope of their breadth. The breadth of scope there is
right.
I don't know
what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if Lin-Manuel Brennan financially can make what Star Wars needs to get to plausible with what we've seen so far. I have all the hope and my fingers are crossed in the world. But just from what we've seen, it doesn't seem like things have been handled 100% well. And with Dave Filoni, as much as I adore the man, creatively, I don't think his breadth of scope leaves the Skywalker saga. And do we even continue to get James Mangold's first Jedi story? Are we going to get a KOTOR story? Are we going to get anything past the Star Wars Starfighter thing in the future? Or are we going to kind of do a Disney Plus? The big thing that's killing me mentally I think the hurdle that I'm having trouble getting over, that's hard to get over here, is Filoni has flourished under Disney Star Wars more so than anything else. That approach has been throw spaghetti at the wall, and we're going to make sure it's as good a spaghetti as we can make it most of the time. But there is an essence of seeing what sticks.
Yeah. And
here's the worry with Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brennan, I just think not having that breadth of scope there, or scope of breadth, whatever I'm trying to actually say here, is it's like me saying respective and retrospective 4 times differently the other day too. Excuse me. I almost have a feeling like they're going to feel the necessity to go forward and backwards in time and also stick with our current timeline, the Skywalker saga. I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel like they need to stick with maybe stopping the Skywalker saga for a bit and going old and going new, where you see the remnants of the Skywalker saga and you see what brought us here way in the past and get us there and into the future and work our way into that. Do y'all think either one of those approaches is a better approach, or are y'all worried as well where do you not see that? I don't see them having vision. That's the biggest thing that I guess my worry is. I don't see vision from the two new presidents, the co-presidents of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, because they had a bunch of projects that are on hold or got canceled or whatever, and that seemed
all
like
of
a
those
jumble of a lot of things.
Well, about
Exactly.
75% of what they've announced has been cancelled.
Yeah.
75%.
So what are they doing?
And
What's
Lin
the vision?
was,
I don't know if they want to share that with the general public, but to some degree, like what's the vision? Maybe that's what they're kind of figuring out right now, is they're regrouping and looking at, okay, this is where we're at. How do we, I don't know, change it, fix it, continue it?
Well, here's the thing, right? So don't forget, like, Starfighter is basically just a reworking of Rogue Squadron.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Rogue Squadron was supposed to be a series, wasn't it? Now we're getting a movie with a Starfighter.
And hey, Patty Jenkins did not make a good Wonder Woman 2. I love Wonder Woman 1, but Patty Jenkins is a great filmmaker, and she has all the personal bandwidth within the actual flying community to make a great film like that. Wow. What happened? Like,
I don't know. You always wonder, is it just they only had one good one in them and they weren't allowed the time to develop things to the way that they wanted to, or maybe the studios get too involved, or there's more pressure.
Well,
make it be as successful or whatever.
Well, to bring it back, getting too involved, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Because
wasn't she essentially banned from the set for the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian as part of the deal for them making it?
Not far off.
I'm just saying, basically as an example.
Yeah, because you can't ban your CEO or president, but you can also ask nicely. And
as far as I'm aware, it was part of their contract that she wouldn't have influence over their work until they had made significant headway.
Well,
she couldn't go onto the set and say, "Right, you can't do this. We have to do it this way." She wasn't able to do that because the contract stated it.
For even all the
until season 3, and probably the end to halfway through Boba Fett.
Well, for all the frustration that has come forth from Kathleen Kennedy, from all of us across the interwebs the last 10, 15 years, we found out in the last about 8 months, a lot of it was Iger. A lot of it was Bob Iger telling her to go do things and saying that, hey, no, Disney's mandating you to go do this.
Well, you got to remember that Bob Iger's he's in charge of the whole thing, so you got to think that it's all to do with the platform itself, so Disney Plus.
Exactly,
and we know content, so they need as much coming out of this company, out of the studios as possible, which is why we get so much Marvel, why we've got so much Star Wars, regardless of it being terribly crap.
Right, too much.
So it's all about.
I don't think it's 100% on her shoulders if the mandates are coming from even above her head.
Right.
Nonetheless, there's a way.
Creatively, would it not be, because she would have had the major say over who makes what? So.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if Iger is superseding that say, which from reports that is exactly what it seemed like, and it seems like Kathleen Kennedy has been given the short end of the stick many a times.
I don't think she's been given the short end of the stick at all. I think she has.
Well, okay. This is what I'll
say. We'll call it we'll call it about 90% of it is KK. The 10% is Iger coming down on top and saying, "Look, we need more stuff to put on the platform, put on this."
Those are arbitrary numbers at best. We can't.
Yes,
percentage on any of that.
Yeah, that's just taking numbers out of the air. Right.
Being removed from this after we've all kind of had time to let it settle, and now seeing what's happening now. My speculation, and it's only speculation, but my speculation is that Iger was a lot more involved more frequently than any of us would even think or want to think about. Because he's had he's a very active CEO for right, wrong, and indifferent. And I think wrong and indifferent more so than right. Sorry, still please hire me, but like I call out bad things when I see bad things.
Yeah, I mean, what does he know about Star Wars?
I don't think Iger
is focused
on the creative outlets that
it's the same thing with Marvel. It's exactly the same thing with Marvel.
Very much so. But that being said, whenever those things are, whenever you have that superseding happening, and hey, I might not even agree with this, but I have to bring it to my directors now. I have to bring it to Dave Filoni. I have to bring it to whoever the writers' rooms. All of this, whatever mandate she's getting to bring. There's a way to approach whether you're really pissed off at Bob Iger and everything that he's telling you or not. Whatever the case may be, my speculation is that she's frustrated with her boss, so she comes in a lot more hot than she probably should be more often to these meetings and to all these different people, which is why, hey, Gareth Edwards got fired from Rogue One. Hey, Phil Lord Christopher Miller got kicked off of Solo. Hey, Ryan Johnson and her obviously still aren't all that good friends because they're not
there's
well right now with each other. Her and J.J. Abrams are just a mutual working relationship at best. She's had many times, almost every single time that somebody could get off of a project from frustration and have to scramble to find somebody else, put something together, they've had to do so. Patty Jenkins, we talked about Rogue Squadron, Taika Waititi's movie. I mean, just think about Sean Levy getting Starfighter even put together. He had to do that as fast as possible to make sure it wasn't tossed or tarnished or anything.
Yeah.
Charmin Obey Chinoy's Ray film is gone now too, right? So literally almost every single thing that she has had her hands on has either been canceled or reworked into something different. And whether I'm not convinced it's 100% her fault or even 80% or 70% her fault. Nonetheless, if you
it's either a large part her fault or it's everyone that she agrees with that she's hired underneath her. But at the top of it, it's still her.
If everybody's a scapegoat, there's always, when you point that finger, how many's pointing back right at you? You know, it kind of goes back to that old thing where I don't think she's 100% at fault. But again, life is just a series of reactions. And if you react to the way your boss is treating you and mandating you, maybe don't do the same to your employees and the people working for you, and don't confuse them and frustrate them and create.
Well, if my boss came to me and said to me, like, we need a lot of content to be put on the platform, I'd be like, okay, right. So what kind of content do you want? Do you want good, well thought of content, or do you want expensive crap that's done in a hurry?
Yeah. They went with the latter, obviously.
The good stuff on one hand, maybe the budget's a bit less, but it's more thought out. It takes a little bit longer to produce and create. You know, you take your time with it, and then you got the other side. Everything's all done, rushed. Right, we don't care who you are, just make it.
Yeah.
Just throw it on, and that's what we've had with Lucasfilm up to this point. Acolyte. Who in their right mind would have actually said, "Okay, yeah, the audience is going to love that"?
Yeah.
Other than KK.
I mean, actually, the Acolyte, before we saw it, was my most anticipated thing. Before we got the trailer, was my most anticipated thing. It sounded awesome. Hey, we're getting kind of sure we're gonna have some familiar faces. We know Yoda's alive during here. And all the rumors that were leading up to it was, oh, Yoda's lost. He's on some like journey or something like that, whatever it was. And that would have been cool to kind of seek after him and figure out what was going on. And everything that we got, light whipping cockroaches, and it just it was so much lesser than what Lucasfilm is capable of. And
I'm sorry. I hope you can't hear that, but Bailey's in the background, asleep on the sofa, snoring his head off.
We started talking about Acolyte, so I couldn't help it. I'm struggling. What is the showrunner, Leslie Headland? Where I don't think she's gotten a whole bunch of fans since Star Wars became part of her repertoire. Nonetheless,
did she have any in the first place?
Yeah, Russian Doll. I mean, she is a talented showrunner. She is a talented filmmaker, and none of that was shown in Acolyte. Acolyte is just such a, oh yeah, we all got to show up to work. Oh yeah, that's right. Tonight, it's a night shoot. It feels like that type of show where
don't forget that you can tell from interviews that a lot of the cast in the Acolyte had no idea about the story of Star Wars.
No,
and that one guy's comment just really pissed me off.
And it's
what
not
about
like
Anakin Skywalker? He blew up the Death Star. It's like, hang on, what? Do you even know what you're talking about?
Star Wars and Disney and Lucasfilm are all large enough companies where, hey, we've talked about Lucasfilm's problem with publicists and being able to actually coach their people well. They haven't started coaching people yet, and they need to coach people before putting them out in anywhere, in any.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly wouldn't have wanted
another. They're knowledgeable.
You certainly wouldn't want another Rachel Ziegler incident.
No.
Oh wait, they did. For the Acolyte.
Yeah, that's it's just so. The thing that frustrates me the most about Acolyte isn't even all the stuff that happened within it or any of that. All that's just naturally as frustrating as it is as you watch it. But it's the fact that, hey, now our two co-presidents were quintessential in getting that done. And as much as I love Dave Filoni, and as much as, yes, that wasn't his show, yes, he was. It was probably much more like, oh yeah, what do I need to sign off for the day?
Yeah.
If it's just checking boxes for the day, what happened to being the chief creative officer? That creative vision does not seem to be there, and it doesn't seem to be supported by the monetary aspect of Lucasfilm as well. And that's my biggest trepidation and worry going into it. I really hope it's not the case. I really hope that Lin Brennan and Dave Filoni just hit the ground running, make the best Star Wars things we've ever seen.
Yeah. We'll see how much Kathleen was like controlling things.
Yeah,
which was their own stuff.
Hey, the kids, you know what? The kids didn't leave the nest this time. Mama Bear left the nest, and now it's time to let those kids fly one way or another and guard the nest themselves. And we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, Charlie Barnett was the guy. I actually know people who know him. But that was the dumbest comment ever. Anyway, what was it? He was talking about Luke and called him Anakin, or called Anakin Luke, or whatever it was.
Well, no, he was saying about Anakin blowing up the Death Star. How many people died on that? He was talking about morality. He was talking about morals, if I remember rightly, in that interview. But he didn't do it once. I think he did it in two separate interviews. And he said to me that between two interviews, no one actually said, well, actually, it happened like this. So get it right next time, yeah? If you're going to play a part, research the franchise that you're going to be playing a part in. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Almost like that's important or something.
It's almost like it's important. It's almost like you can be a really great addition to a Marvel series or a movie if you actually read some comics. So it's nothing like that, is it? I mean, it's not like Star Wars has any...
or at least have some sort of like cliff notes you give to the actors of this is what you need to know. You know?
Yeah, but I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. No, yeah. Star Wars has no content.
Oh, there's no source material.
Source material. So yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the problem. Marvel has tons of it.
Okay, so Monk did bring up a good point here. Bad Batch and Skeleton Crew didn't exactly perform the way it was expected to either.
Yes, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and these
people
two
were sick.
Awesome.
People were sick at what had come before. I've always said it since Skeleton Crew came out. I said because this was Skeleton Crew was delayed, wasn't it? It was originally supposed to come out before Acolyte. If it had come out before Acolyte, it would have done a hell of a lot better because it's a much better show.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm just saying it is the better show.
Goonies in space. No.
I will say Skeleton Crew was amazing.
I don't think I'm just saying that to be provocative.
I think, I'll be a little controversial here right now. My favorite Star Wars show, live action wise, pound for pound, specifying there. It might be Skeleton Crew. It's either Skeleton Crew or Andor. As much as I love Mando, there's enough throughout the first 2 seasons that are like, okay, we're monster of the week in it. We're not really character developing, but it's interesting where the story's heading. Cool. Not the best episode in the world, but I'm jamming. I'm having a good time. Season 3, it has a couple high points. Well, come on now. Andor, I haven't seen season 2, and of course that will probably end up being my favorite Star Wars whenever I truly finish season 2. But Skeleton Crew was awesome. Bad Batch, through and through.
Yeah, I gotta finish Bad Batch.
Some fluff. It's got some fluff, but it's good.
It's a kids show, so I give it some leniency there.
Transition. Bad Batch was a good transition between Clone Wars and Rebels. It was a great transition.
Yes,
series.
Well done.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Anakin dad, Luke's son. Yeah. Hey, Sentai Ranger Donnie. How are you doing, Donnie?
Hello.
I can't embiggen it here, so Ultraman.
Hey, I like Ultraman, the Netflix show.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Bad Batch and Skeleton Crew are just perfect examples of Lin-Manuel Brennan and Dave Filoni having wins. Whether those weren't true wins in a global phenomenon type of sense, but in a in a true quality filmmaking project wise, and sure, Dave Filoni wasn't hands-on in the live action aspect of Skeleton Crew, but he put together a really good team, and he got a team to help put together a really good team, and he did. He oversaw that. Lin-Manuel Brennan was the general manager at the time and oversaw that as well. All this Seattle Seahawks. Oh, it's Seattle Day over here apparently. But I think there's still plenty of hope. Where my trepidation and my caution has been aired, I think there is a new hope nonetheless, and it's not even a new hope. There's it might be a middling hope, but there's hope nonetheless. Do y'all think that Skeleton Crew, being the most recent live action show that they have done, at least shows that we might be back on the right track? And if Ahsoka is in the, because if we get to the live action Ahsoka, I forget the what's the Thrawn, the Heir to the Empire movie is what I'm trying to think of. If we get to the Heir to the Empire movie, which would be combining the Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew shows,
I doubt we'll get Mando in that. I think this movie's going to be the end of Mando. Mandalorian and Grogu, I think that's going to be the end. I think it is.
Nah.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Just the way that they dealt with it. The way that they dealt with it. People want season 4, season 5. They want to carry on as a show. They don't want the movie. But we're getting the movie because that's what they want.
Sure, but
if they want the movie ending the series,
another movie.
Unless they announce that Ahsoka is not going to get a season 3, it's going to get a movie. That's the only way I can see it working. And also, what about the original plan for Skeleton Crew leading into a movie as well?
Well, that's
Where
what all
everyone was supposed to come together.
That's what this is. That's what Heir to the Empire is. Ahsoka season 2,
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew leading into
Yeah.
that. All of these things were supposed to lead into.
Yeah,
that,
but has anyone said anything about Skeleton Crew season 2 or a movie?
No.
Or even appearing in a movie?
Yes, they did say the character would be appearing in the Heir to the Empire film if things go to according to plan.
Which a character?
Yeah, I mean, it would just be Jude Law's character.
But it wouldn't be Skeleton Crew.
But I'm okay with that. Give me the pirate too. I want the pirate, the robot pirate.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the robot pirate. I forget his
That's
name.
what's his name does that voice?
I was just trying to think, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
He's good friends with the other guy. I can't think of his. Simon Pegg. He's good friends with Simon Pegg.
Nick Frost did it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mando and Skeleton Crew crossover. That's what they have planned. The Heir to the Empire is supposed to be Thrawn as the big bad guy, and Skeleton Crew characters, Mando characters, Book of Boba Fett characters, and Ahsoka characters all have to team up to go to that and take him out. And that's to see, and with Abeloth probably being in Ahsoka season 2 and all that, who's to say Thrawn's even the big bad, and maybe Thrawn's trying to pull a Palpatine and save the galaxy by amassing the
I want to remind you of something. I'm pretty sure that this was semi-official, but I thought the original idea was that Skeleton Crew were going to link up with Ahsoka to bring Ahsoka back to the Star Wars galaxy, right? I thought that was the original plan.
I don't think they've ever announced any of that. That might be just speculation.
Maybe rumor, might have been rumor, speculation, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
sure. I mean,
especially if Ahsoka and that are going to be stuck there.
It's a natural kind of avenue of thought, but I don't. That's not. I don't even think that's remotely been mentioned by anybody from Lucasfilm themselves. But yeah, it is kind of the Star Wars
It came from somewhere. I remember reading it a while back. I can't remember when. Can't remember what article. Pretty sure it was in an article.
Oh yeah, I don't think Ahsoka season 2 is going to do well. Why would it?
Do you know why?
I'll watch it, but
do you know why? Because at the moment with Star Wars, we've got the same problem as we had with Star Trek. Everything that Kennedy okayed is still being made.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That could change. You never know.
With Star Trek and Kurtzman, everything Kurtzman has been making, it's coming.
Yeah,
that's why we're.
It seems like if we want to say 90% about a number, it feels like 90% is probably how many of those projects tend to get thrown to the wayside anyway. So we'll see what ends up happening.
I think it would have something to do with anything that any project that's in production at any level of production, whether it's screenplay or final planning before filming.
Yeah,
it's all we're gonna get as much of her stuff as they can push out because of Kennedy.
Yeah.
Star Wars won't change until Kathleen Kennedy is removed from the credits.
That's not happening anytime soon, if ever.
No. Just like with Kurtzman in Star Trek, it's going to be 2-3 years before we get him out of Star Trek's credits.
Yeah. Well, okay. So while we're talking about it, while we're thinking like that Crisis on Infinite Earths and anything yada yada, essentially Icarus did point out: does Star Wars need a Doomsday? Is that what you think Star Wars actually needs? Do they need that North Star of some big bad leading us to a certain point? Or
hasn't all the Star Wars? Isn't there like side canon where the entire thing with the Empire, the Star Wars progression has all been leading up to an invasion?
Yeah,
the Death Star was meant to be a super weapon to help fight against. I can't remember what was the species.
It's the when Disney bought over, they made them the Grisk instead. It's the Yuuzhan Vong. That's it.
Yuuzhan Vong. That's the one. They were supposed to be a threat to come from another galaxy, right?
Yes, they're force resistant, and all of their weapons are biological based. So,
Which
like,
is
they have
why-
staff weapons, which are snakes and stuff
Yeah.
that spit venom. It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So-
want a story about that. I don't even know about
Yeah.
that stuff.
I'd be happy with having Revan.
Oh, please.
On the Old Republic, please, but not until everyone's been dealt with at Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that Yuzon Vong story, Sarah. It
Put Favreau
repaints.
in charge.
I see. As much as I love Favreau, I don't think he has much of
I'm
a
only
vision
saying that.
for Star
I'm only
Wars.
saying that because of Mando. That's all.
Sure, yeah, and I understand it too. I'm with you, but it's also more. I think
And
he just
Iron
wanted to come tell a quick story in the Star Wars universe, have a good time, and keep moving on.
Mhm.
And I don't think we need some big doomsday. I don't think we need some Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't think we need some big
Right.
bad. Just give us
Well,
stories.
yeah.
And
Point.
It just feels very much like let's
World.
copy what Marvel has done. It's
It's
just
like we understand the hero's journey.
nobody wants that anymore. I don't think. I think people want more interesting
that-
stories.
Give us the intimate, smaller stories.
Mhm.
I think that's why Netflix wants Warner Brothers so much to get the DC content to compete with Marvel.
Yeah.
I can't see any other reason because they
Just
they
the
hate
theatrical
release.
aspect, but I don't believe that they really want to stay theatrical, even though they said the 45-day window. That's still
Well, that's only
not
a recent thing.
first of all, but
They're only trying to butter people up to say, look, this is our intention. We're going to give you the 45 days. I mean, we're not going to give you what I think it was originally what someone said 14 or 17 days before.
yeah, 14 or 17 was what they were thinking. That's
Mhm.
that's heinous.
But in the article that I saw someone reading, it actually says it's like what was it? They actually called it a business. They're treating it as a business, and I know it is the entertainment business, but you run a business a different way, right?
Mhm.
Very much so.
Mm.
Yeah. The Yuzon Vong stuff, Sarah. Just to help you think about what that was. The idea of it, though, paints and repaints Palpatine as a hero, as a good guy. Not a very friendly good guy,
Right.
but Crisis on Arrakis. They're all good. The Yuzon Vong is this force that just hops almost galaxies and takes them over, enslaves them, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Pillages. I mean, you get the whole deal.
Yeah.
The only way that they could fight back was to have a force large enough to take them out, and Palpatine was amassing the force large enough to fight back. Not in a very nice way.
Not large enough, powerful enough. Powerful enough. That's
Right.
the whole basis of creating the Death Stars and stuff like that. There were originally supposed to be more than one or two.
Okay.
If you think about it, in the original trilogy, they must have already been building the second one whilst the first one was still being built.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
But the bad guys wear black. Not
Luke Skywalker wore black.
Yeah.
Anakin wore that black tunic thing.
well, it's so, and I disagree with some of the biggest nerds of Star Wars alongside myself, because I am a huge fan of the Gray Jedi. I understand Lucas liked the black and white kind of thought process of good and bad. Good and bad. You're either thinking good or thinking bad.
Right.
But
Space Western.
there's no such thing. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
And if Acolyte was doing anything right, it was alluding to that. The way they approached getting there.
Yeah, not great. Power of many.
The power of many. God, I forgot about that. Oh.
But there was a lightsaber whip.
Which could have been cool. If it wasn't used for anyway,
We rabbited a little bit there. Yeah.
Well, let's just say it's the first ever light whip seen on screen.
Yes.
Outside this live action. We've seen them in animation
Yeah.
anyway. It's just I don't think we ever. I think Ahsoka is the first time we ever saw a World of Warcraft sword in Star Wars, though.
Mhm.
When was that?
Hmm?
Oh, when she's fighting with I see.
Yeah. Now we know that in Star Wars they did have swords. They had vibro swords and energy swords.
Mhm.
They stand up against a lightsaber. They can go quite well because of the material they're made out of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to see that. I mean, we did see a vibro knife. I think that was in was that in Acolyte?
That was Mando.
That was in Mando. Yeah, we saw vibro knives. So
Which those are Durasteel, and Durasteel. I can get nerdy, but see,
Durasteel can survive.
Yes,
Durasteel can survive for a length of time against a lightsaber, but not long.
Yes, not as long as.
Not as long as.
What's their alloy? What's their stuff called?
Beskar.
God, I've been so pissed at Star Wars. I'm like forcing myself to forget things.
But even you got to bear in mind also that even Beskar wouldn't last a hell of a long time. It'll last in a fight, but it's not a long lasting, because if it would last a lot longer, then you wouldn't start glowing from heat, because it would be more resistant to the heat.
Yeah, yeah, they're not, Alex, but they should be. What? Is Quest saying they have vibrators in Star Wars?
They were actually if
probably
in the Old Republic. The Grey Jedi were around in the Old Republic, because you meet one in Knights of the Old Republic. In the game, in Knights of the Old Republic, you actually meet one, and he trains you on more dark side training than the Jedi will, because they have the balance in between there. So
it makes sense. And Cortos is short circuits. Yeah, that's another cool thing. Acolyte actually had a lot of cool things in it. We really are in the weeds right now. You know what?
So I think you're talking about. So it's something that never existed ever anywhere else other than the Acolyte.
No, it's in books and all kinds of different things. It's in a lot of different source material. Cortosis is.
Maybe.
Well, sorry, excuse me. There is no source material. But anyway.
Yeah, there is no source material. Exactly.
Well,
unless it comes down to something else.
This was a good point that we did kind of get in the weeds off there a little bit. For any new project that Filoni's truly in charge of, I don't think you have to watch a bunch of other things prior to watching Ahsoka or Skeleton Crew in particular, something like that, or Mandalorian even. Yeah. But how much more are you going to get out of it if you do? It changes the show entirely. Each
it's kind of, you could argue that that's also similar to watching other shows in the wrong order as well,
like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, because if you watch this in chronological order, it still makes perfect sense, and it ties together and weaves together in a wonderful, beautiful way that's kind of really cool. And that's what Filoni's best at, is kind of weaving stories together like that. So, hey,
well, let's put it this way: if you watch Star Wars, if you watch the entire Star Wars franchise in actual, chronological order, so anything that's on screen, and you start with the Acolyte, because I think that's the oldest one. That's the one set in the earliest time. Yeah. You wouldn't watch the rest. You'd be put off just from watching Acolyte. You wouldn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
Sure, we can skip the
Acolyte. Acolyte has to be stricken from the franchise, just like the sequel trilogy needs to be stricken from the franchise. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed...
There's things I like about it.
The Force. I enjoyed The Force Awakens, but it wasn't as good as a lot of people think. And then I like the way that Mark Hamill was told, it's not your story anymore, yet the final in the trilogy was The Rise of Skywalker. It's not Skywalker Saga anymore earlier on, but then the final movie was...
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It's a bit stupid.
What if you like The Last Jedi ducks? Pretty sure Plagueis in the Gunnar Cave was the best part. Yeah. Yeah, there are a bunch of good things on YouTube for it. Ryan, that was very funny too. But okay, to what Monk said here, is any project we're gonna get that's because Filoni seems like he just wants to get to Heir to the Empire right now, and I understand wanting to put that final mark on the story you've been telling for a long time. But if it's not the right story to be told for the company right now, do you think that we're gonna get more projects that have to have homework for them, or are we going to get more projects maybe like a Starfighter or like a James Mangold First Jedi, where hey, anybody can kind of hop in here and get a whole new kind of fresh footing in this part of Star Wars? Or are we going to be stuck with homework? Because that is a big concern I see people having, and I don't not have it myself. Right. I've already done all the homework besides Andor Season 2. And
but you're missing out, man. Jeez.
I just need to sit down and do it. Foundation Season 3. I'm on the last 2 episodes of Pluribus, and every time I try to watch Pluribus, I just get pissed off at myself because I see Foundation on continue watching right there, and I'm just, I gotta do it too. Yep. But yeah, do you think it's really going to be more homework oriented Star Wars now? Or are we going to get?
I mean, are they trying to draw in new people, or are they making stuff for existing fans? Are they going?
There are no existing fans.
Or are they going to have to make a lot of exposition, filling in things, and I don't know.
Well, it all depends on how they work with it. I mean, are they actually going to make things for the fans, or are they going to make things that are not meant for the fans? Because that's what they've been doing.
Make things they want to make.
Here's another question. Because Monk does add a great sentence here. I'm just worried it's going to alienate new fans who won't understand it without a lot of time in front of a screen. Right. It's not that these aren't good stories. Because these, I feel like a lot of these
stories. You follow the stories, you just miss out on a lot of the little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Yeah.
But at the same time, are they good enough stories on their own without knowing all of the homework?
Mixed bag.
It depends on which stories you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say you don't have to be a hardcore Star Wars fan to watch something like the Skeleton Crew and think, oh, this is actually a pretty good show.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anything about the universe. I mean, you get introduced, like you find out in the show, they actually talk about the Jedi. Oh yeah, the Jedi. Yeah, they existed. They existed a few some time ago, and there's not that many of them around anymore and stuff like that, which is true in the whole in the grand unit. But then again, it's not true because all of a sudden Jedi are popping up everywhere.
Well,
they were supposed to be wiped out. They're everywhere.
No, that there's at least 10,000 Jedi left whenever the.
Now I agree. I think bringing Mara Jade into it, that seems okay. That seems okay. Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I'd rather see more other Jedi that slip through the cracks of the Empire rather than.
I would like to see
interesting characters.
I would like to see the story between Luke and Mara Jade. I don't want to see what's Mara Jade's doing now after leaving Luke.
Gone, yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. It's like, oh yeah, I decided to leave him because he's a chump, But all he does all day is sit there and float rocks. But I mean, I'd like it to, if the interactions between Mara Jade and Luke, that's an important thing. Because it can be important. It's important for stories that will or could come later on. I'd like to see the interaction. I don't want to see Mara Jade flying, flirling a bloody lightsaber around, whilst someone else is flying a starfighter around her.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see flames on the outside of a spaceship like we had in the Acolyte. That's ridiculous. I mean, they're in space. There's not going to be any flames. Crying out loud, physics.
Yeah, I had the argument yesterday that and it's the first time y'all are going to be weirded out by it, but I had to argue that Star Wars wasn't sci-fi yesterday. Because one of my buddies
You didn't. What you mean? You didn't realize it's actually fantasy before?
Well, it is space fantasy, and I get the obligatory. What genre is Star Wars? Googling on your phone, and it says, "Well, it's a space opera, sci-fi," and it's like, yes, and it's sci-fi because it's in space.
Yeah.
But it's a space fantasy, space opera is what it is. It's a space fantasy, space opera, with sci-fi elements.
Yes.
And
I think Lucas even said it's a space opera. It's fantasy. It's not supposed to have any real reality in real life. It's not like
ended whenever it was finally was. Yeah, George Lucas doesn't even call Star Wars sci-fi. And also, I've been having this argument on the internet for 5 years now, and I don't think I've won yet. I don't think I've won with the sci-fi Star Wars.
I put it under sci-fi because of the space battles.
Yes, sure.
Space battles can make or break a sci-fi.
Yeah, because it's got the
so Star Wars for me, sci-fi fantasy space opera.
But how about those space explosions?
What was that?
I said, how about them space explosions? That's all you need to know that it's not a sci-fi.
Well, what about any space explosion in space in science fiction?
That's true. I guess even sci-fis are still blowing things up.
Especially when you look at things like Armageddon. Great movie, love the movie, but the explosion at the end doesn't make sense. A thermonuclear explosion does not happen like that in space. For a start, there is no atmosphere. So what would flash?
Yeah.
There's even a nuclear engineer that I've started watching a while ago. He does videos on YouTube, and he actually talks about them. And he says, if a nuclear goes off in space, you won't really see it. You might see a minute little flash because of whatever atmosphere is inside the casing of the bomb. That's it.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's just there's going to be some infighting for the rest of eternity.
I have to get out of here because I got a movie at 1:00. So,
Heyo,
Return of the King.
2 hours or Return?
Return of the King.
Nice.
So it's going to be like 4 hours or something because it's the extended version.
Starfleet Academy.
Oh no, I have not had a chance to watch it yet.
Okay.
I wanted to, but then we were talking about this, so I didn't worry about it. But
smart.
And we can't talk about anything Star Trek with Harris around anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
I purposely forget it. Like I can just understand it best as the Star Trek franchise once you understand it, because it's the way they laid out their order, right? Yes, finally we got one.
Start that trending.
No.
All right. I'll be here tomorrow for Farscape Trion, as usual. And
that'll be fun.
Anyway, I'll see you guys then. Join the Patreon. Join us.
Out on old KK and Lin-Manuel Brennan and Dave Filoni.
You
want to give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a middle?
I'm a middle. We'll see what happens because we don't really know how much Kathleen Kennedy was influencing them. We'll see what they do, what direction it goes.
A hell of a lot.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do now that they have the power. So just curious to see. Right. Anyway.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Right, see you, Sarah.
Bye.
See y'all. Or not y'all. See you. I'm so used to just the whole thing all at once. All that being said, though, I'm with both of y'all on that. It's ultimately a wait and see. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. I think there's a lot of things to be cautious about. But ultimately,
that's the problem. It's always a wait and see with all the franchises because almost every single franchise has been screwed up to this point. Marvel screwed up a lot since Endgame, right? Star Trek screwed up every franchise, every great franchise All of the bigger franchises have all been screwed up, and it's always going to be a wait and see, because it's convenient that we're finally getting rid of Kurtzman, and now we've got rid of KK, and it's just a wait and see.
Yeah, the only
thing is with Kurtzman, we still don't know if he's gone or not, because he still could get offered another 3-year deal or something. It's like, yeah, no, thank you.
7-year.
Well, 3 to 7 or something. Whatever. I mean, it all depends.
I'm just saying a number that's going to piss you off more. Don't listen to me.
7 years. Bye Paramount subscription.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah. I guess if you don't watch Landman and Tulsa King enough, there you go. Oh, definitely. Do you think Filoni will pull a James Gunn and direct?
I think he'll be too busy.
Oh, I think he just got his toes wet directing Ahsoka season 1. I think he wants to. I think he wants to direct Heir to the Empire, if anything.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely do that. But the problem is, with his new position, he's going to be too busy trying to convince someone else that he needs the money to make them.
Yeah,
because if Filoni was the only, if Filoni was in charge completely, do you think that he wouldn't just go ahead with everything he wants to do?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got more than just himself as well. He has to pay attention to, with his position, he has to pay attention to the stockholders and the shareholders and do what makes.
Oh well, yeah, because KK did that so well.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point where
you got to feel like it's not just the Lucasfilm, stockholders that have been taking a hit from any of this. The Disney executives themselves, all the stockholders for Disney itself, they've all been taking a hit. The same with Marvel, they've been taking the hit, yet they still haven't done any fuck all about it.
Ryan brings up a point here. Studio leadership needs to stay out of the creative decisions and stick with overall direction of things. Let the creatives do their thing. So Ryan,
that's the old school way of doing things. The old school way of doing things. Producers provide the money, directors make the stuff. That's the way it should be.
That's not. Producers have just as much say in making the film.
Yeah, but producers were mostly in charge of the money, and as much as they could, they wouldn't get involved unless they wanted to.
False. Because it's not. It's false and true. Producer is such a wide breadth of a word that most producers do not do that. Financiers, yes. And financiers don't want to be called financiers. So
they want to be called producers.
Yeah. But a producer is very much a line producer, is somebody who does the day-to-day task of making sure your entire set is functional. Your regular just producer title can be people that were in your writer's room but came up with the bare bones of your stories and didn't write the actual scripting out. So they produced the season and got credits for that and didn't get writer's credits because they weren't writing page to page, but they gave you the bare bones aspects for that. It'll be story by credits maybe, but there'll be producer credits truly because of that. So producers, way too large of a term to blanket into just financier. But your financier producers are the ones that you're beholden to.
But the bottom line, the producers do control the money.
Yes, the financiers do. Yeah, just separate if we can mentally that financier and just producer, because your average producer is much more your average Joe.
But also a lot of the time when you had, say, an executive producer or something like that, a lot of the time they would normally be something along the lines of someone that's donated a little bit of money to the show or the movie
or time. Most of the time,
they basically a lot of the time when they're an executive producer or something like that, then they've put something into it.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, aren't financier producers executive producers typically, or co-executives, so on and so forth. So executives is probably the easier way to say that. Where your average
instead of saying the producers themselves, let's just say a production company controls the money. That way you've got a broader way of looking at it. It's the company that's funding it, so not an individual producer.
Yeah, because producers are a little part of Hollywood that don't get loved on enough and get hated on far too much, but also deservedly so, but also too much. It's just because
when I was saying about it, when I was saying about it being the old school way of doing it, it's when the producers most of the time would let the directors do their thing because they knew that the directors were there to do a job, and they wouldn't go down and that basically step on their toes. Not like you would nowadays. Nowadays, producers and presidents of the companies, they like to get involved and say, "Look, we want you to go in this direction," despite the fact that the director is technically the person in charge of the creative side of it for that specific thing. That's what I meant by the old school way of doing it.
Not necessarily.
I mean, hell, do you think? Right, what about Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
If you're a producer, you're the head of a production company. Steven Spielberg comes up to you and says, "I've got this great idea for a movie. What's your first words?" Hell yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to think. You're not going to go. How much is it going to cost us? Because Steven Spielberg is the type of guy. You're going to go. I don't know. It could cost you 100 million. It could cost you $1 billion. It just depends on where it goes. So I've got a good idea. I haven't refined it yet, so I don't know how much it's going to cost. But you're going to say, hell yeah, because it's Steven Spielberg. George Lucas comes up to you and says, right, I've got Lucasfilm back. I've got a great idea to get rid of the sequel trilogy and make my own. What do you do?
Well, at this point, that's a lot harder to say. I don't think I'd make the trilogy.
No.
As much as I wish I could, I'd say, dude, I hate to tell you this because I know he's not going to direct it. George Lucas doesn't have any interest in.
Well, no.
But
he comes to you. Right. Let's do a scenario that KK went through. I have Lucasfilm. George Lucas comes to you and says, "Right, I've got this great idea for a new story in the Star Wars universe. Go." Would you do what KK said? Probably in the lines of "fuck you, you asshole."
Well, I doubt that.
I doubt that as well. But I know that in my head, KK's a bitch. That's a bitchy thing to do.
Yeah, they've been friends for 50 years. If anything, that sentence was more.
Yeah, but they've been friends for.
Bob's not going to let me.
Yeah. No.
Because it was Bob Iger that really told her no. If George Lucas were to walk up to me and I was in a Filoni or a Lin-Manuel position, I would say, "Give me 3 years and let's talk again." Work on everything you can.
I'd probably say along the side, well, then, okay. Well, what if we give you a credit and have you as a creative advisor? Say,
well, you stuff like that would have to be the case, and to kind of tie together some of these things. George Lucas didn't direct the original trilogy, and that's his trilogy. He's the producer for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your producer can have just as much creative control. That's his movie. The producer's movies are his movies. Pirates of the Caribbean, Gore Verbinski did the first couple, maybe even the third one. But that's not truly his trilogy. That's now
it's not even a trilogy anymore.
Yeah, now it's
even a trilogy anymore.
But and to bring it back to the Spielberg thing is, who do you think of first when you think of the Goonies? Richard Donner or Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg, obviously.
And Richard Donner directed it. And Richard Donner's amazing. It's Richard freaking Donner. But
okay, what about Alien?
Ridley Scott.
But what about the 2 or 3 guys that came along before him?
What do you mean?
Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Aliens. Sorry, I got mixed up there.
Yeah, no. As much as I love James Cameron, Terminator is James Cameron. Alien is Ridley Scott. James Cameron might have come in for a minute. David Fincher might have come in for a minute. But first and foremost, you think of Ridley Scott. Same thing where, that producer is there. So, that gets complicated. I wish there were better descriptors to describe all that. But what was what was Ryan's thing he told us again? Oh, studio leadership needs to say, how do the creative decisions and stick with overall the direction of things? Let the creatives do their thing. So yeah, I know we kind of totally rabbit holed and trailed off there for a second there, but yes, 1,000%. But also, what happens when your studio leadership is also your chief creative officer?
Mm-hmm.
Every creative decision goes through that. And right now, see, I love Filoni as a chief creative officer, but I don't see him having the vision to see where this goes. And hey, that's exactly where I'm thinking as well. What if the studio executive is a creative a la James Gunn? I don't think that's the greatest idea either.
No.
But I don't think it's the worst idea either. And him and Safran have the better version of what Lin-Manuel Brennan and Dave Filoni are, because I guess they've worked together a similar amount of time on both respective sides of that. But Safran and Gunn both have careers outside of working together, and the careers they've had together are at a much grander scale. It provides more confidence, where Lucasfilm is technically just as big, if not bigger, of a company, and Filoni and Brennan have never handled this scale of project before, and that's something that hopefully they do really well with. Hopefully they've got the right insights from the right people over the right amount of time, and it's their time to step up to the plate, you know. In recent memory, though, I think there's plenty of trepidation and caution that's been thrown on that thought, and rightfully so. It's a little screwy. I don't know if James Gunn should be directing all of his projects, but I think he is a good vision. He probably has a good vision for where the DC comics can go, because he's such a nerd and comic book nerd. I might not love everything that he's been doing in recent memory, because it's all the same. He's so good. If it just wasn't all the damn same, just make a different movie than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it's frustrating. And I wish the whole industry didn't look the same because of that too. That's a whole frustration in and of itself. That's different. I still think he has the vision to bring the company forward, and Peter Safran can help financially make sure that vision is plausible throughout time, where they have that. And don't forget, even though Peter Safran is co-CEO and president of DC, he's still the head executive producer for all the Conjuring movies. Those are his movies. You know, first and foremost, they're his movies. And I almost said Walter Hamada. It's not Walter Hamada. Oh my God. That's just because it's Warner Brothers. Who's the guy that directed Aquaman? James Wan. In his horror universes. It's James Wan and Peter Safran doing the Conjuring. That being said, that the scale of those projects and the depth of the ability of Peter Safran has been time and time and tested and proven again and again and again. I don't think
Monk, I would love it if we got a Star Wars version of the Penguin. Or
Skeleton Crew is the closest we have, but or Andor, but we'd love that as well. I just don't think that Filoni and Brennan have been tested at the scale that they're at. They've been playing at the same scale, but they've been playing at the same scale and not leading it. You know, they're very different things. And, I have all the hope in the world. I just have to air the caution as well.
I always have hope for anything. You know, it's just with experience, it's, you know, that hope is kicked to the curb more times than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it recently with Starfleet Academy. It's like, I always have hope. I had hope going into it, regardless of what I've said in the past. But yeah, the hope is.
Well, did you watch Starfleet Academy?
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, I'm not going to remember any of it. It's way later in the timeline, right? So I won't be seeing it anytime soon. Real quick, Ryan said, "There's a big difference in being a good creative person on your own project and attempting to lead other people's creative projects." and
That's the thing. That's the thing. We're at a time where I think we're losing a lot of the well-known older creatives now, right? A lot of them, they're either too old, maybe they're passing away or whatever. So we're losing a lot of great people in the industry, regardless of whether they're just retiring or whatever, because they're getting old.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you got so many of these young people coming up that have no experience. They can't work alongside the greats because the greats are retiring. They haven't got time to teach people, essentially. So could you imagine being able to learn under Steven Spielberg? Imagine what it would be like. You know, you come on as an assistant producer or an assistant director or something. You know, could you imagine what that'd be like learning from him?
There's 40 years of people that were able to do that, and I'm so glad that he's doing it again. But it's probably his last one.
Yeah, it's difficult. You've got all these new people coming up, and everyone nowadays, anyone in the industry, like you got KK, you got everyone else, they're all like, "Oh, we want to give these new unknowns a chance. We want to give them a chance." They screw up, yet they get another job. It's like in the old days, if you screwed up, you'd be lucky if you got a new job.
You got to grow that confidence back over time.
Yeah. So it's like the learning curve it's more of a straight line than the curve now. I mean, there's a reason it's called a curve. It's meant to be difficult, right? You're going uphill essentially, but it's like nowadays it's just a flat road. It's like you come off it and do one project, and then you get back. Then it curves back onto the road, and you just constantly go in a straight line. You're just getting more and more work, despite the fact that you're crap at the job. It's happening more with writers, I think, because there are a hell of a lot more writers out there than anything else.
Well, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have been talking about it all over. They even went on Joe Rogan of all places this past week, and I've seen a couple clips. I actually kind of want to sit down. I haven't watched a Joe Rogan interview in a long time, but I think I want to actually sit down and watch this one because of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They get into the nitty-gritty, the politics of Hollywood, the monetary aspect of Hollywood, the monetary aspect of producing, writing, and getting things done. And one of the things that they talk about in there is, I mean, you know what else? I meant to mention it. We're going to get to what you watched this week in a second to end this thing out because we didn't get to you at the beginning of it all. But one thing I did watch yesterday actually was Rip, the new Matt Damon and Ben Affleck movie. And it was solid. It was a really solid, good action movie. It was who's the dirty cop in a group of cops on this one rip that they got a tip for, and it was a good. The answers are always right in front of your face, as they tend to be, of course. But it was good at prodding you along without feeling like it was prodding you along at the same time.
Yeah.
It was good. But what they were saying, though, was that Netflix, because it is a Netflix movie. I wish it were in theater. It was a fun one. On Netflix, they want you to. They have an ordinance from Netflix that they have to reiterate the plot 3 to 4 times throughout the film, if not more, because they expect people to be on their phones. They expect people to be walking in and out of their kitchens. They expect people to go. It just got halfway through the rip and fell asleep getting old. Well, probably because it just had to keep repeating its damn plot over and over again. The action stuff's good. The acting, when you get into a good acting scene, is really good. But most of it is just kind of, oh, yep, somebody wants to steal the rip. Oh, just in case you forgot, somebody's going to steal the rip. Hey, just in case you had forgotten a few moments ago, somebody over here, they want to steal the rip. You know, it's just it gets old, and the more that you now have the people making the movie tell you this is the way that it's been mandated and notice, I think people are going to notice a little bit more. I mean, I'm surprised.
You know what I miss? I miss the anticipation. There's no anticipation in movies or shows anymore. You can't anticipate anything because a lot of the time they just throw it at you, and you catch it. So it never used to be about that. It used to be all about the suspense of the movie or show. Keep you intrigued so you come back for more. That's how they used to get you to watch on live TV every week because you wanted to come back and watch more. Now we're streaming. It's like there are a hell of a lot of people out there that will wait until the final episode has aired before they even start, and I think that's a mistake.
It really is, and I'm so glad that Fallout right now is big enough that people want to watch every week. And they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to." People are gonna be talking about it. I have to watch it. Same thing with Stranger Things. There's just so few shows that people are willing to do that with. And even House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon started out. Season 1 was, Game of Thrones is kind of back. Whoa! And season 2 was, that's not what season 1 was like. I'll wait till the end. I'll just binge it all when it's done. And I'm with you. I wish we could get back to better schedule.
There's a funny thing about House of the Dragon is people didn't realize until that one episode of House of the Dragon season 2 where they kiss. People didn't realize that there was actually messaging inside in the show. It's like they're kicking up a fuss saying, "I'm not watching this anymore. You've got LGBTQ in it," and I'm just like, did you not realize it was in there from the start?
Have you ever watched Game of Thrones before?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, seriously, it's been there from the start, just like with Star Trek. It's all been there since the beginning.
10 years after Game of Thrones and series 2, now you're frustrated. It's like, all right, pick your battles. That's pretty funny. People like to be upset.
Yeah. Yes, Monk, you're right. It's because you're exactly right about
that. They made Will Byers gay. Okay. It is written more of an ancient historical text than a full story. Yeah. Nonetheless, that whole Ryan Condal, George R. R. Martin stuff right now is because I want to be on George R. R. Martin's side of, you wrote the stuff originally, and if you didn't write it 100% or not, you still had the right team with you and all that. So you should be involved with the show. And if Ryan Condal's not taking your advice, but also I just can't that every time I think about that and I get a little upset at Ryan Condal, I'm also just thinking, well, just go finish wins and winner, George. Come on, Martin.
It obviously still works if you do that, because you look at The Expanse. One half of the original writing team for the books was involved through that entire show. The only difference that made it improve a lot is the difference in directors. That's when Mark Ferguson and Hal Godspeed took over at season 2. Before that, I can't remember who it was because it's not as good as season 2.
Oh, you're talking to Expanse?
Season 2 it sort of picked up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always thought The Expanse.
I'm still saying season 1 is still good.
Oh yeah,
but season 2 got better, so much better.
I love season 1. I wish we would have gotten that show as well, but also I really like seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I like it.
You start seeing the influence of Stargate in there and everything as well.
Oh, I like the Stargate stuff. It's more so. I didn't love the way they killed Alex off, and I know he dies. And
that was strategic because of stuff that was going on in real life.
Yeah, but also nothing ever and it was at the time where it was a little too much. Hey, I understand kind of being cautious if one of your stars is being accused of a bunch of stuff, but also what the hell ever happened, especially in this damn country of innocent before proven guilty. Obviously, there's when there's too much evidence. If you're Diddy, I don't know if you had to be proven guilty for people to go, something's up there, But
yeah, I know, Monk. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms premieres tomorrow.
No, it premieres tonight.
No, it's
today.
Tonight, yeah. Well, no, it's tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow for us in the UK.
Oh yeah, because I guess it's already 8:30 y'all's time.
But I was kind of hoping it was going to be on Amazon at some point, and apparently it's on Now TV, but it's not going to be on Amazon, so I can't watch it because I am not paying the BBC for a TV license because of their garbage.
Well, because HBO will be a home box office no matter what. So they want you to kind of lean towards that way.
I might watch it if it comes on Amazon and it becomes available for rent. Then maybe, or rent and buy, maybe I'll do it that way. But I'm not watching it live. If anything, I will probably see about going to watch it around a friend's house who has Sky or Now TV. But I cannot watch it at home.
That's Star Trek Starfleet Academy, right? STSA?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same effing lazy story with George R. R. Martin every single time. Does he ever stop to think that maybe he's the problem? I wish he would, because I wish, man. He's such a genius. I also, it cracks me up that he doesn't like the ending to Lord of the Rings. George R. R. Martin famously does not like the ending to Lord of the Rings because it's too simple. It makes things go together too easily, and
it felt anticlimactic to me.
It needed political intrigue, and he wanted to know what Aragorn's tax brackets were going to be for the people of Gondor. And he wrote that book. I'm glad he wrote those books. I'm glad he wrote those books. But screw off, George. At the same time, like, finish your damn books. Don't go complaining about the guy that created the genre that you're in. Sorry, I love seeing that kind of stuff. I watched a little Instagram reel or whatever about it this morning. It just kind of makes me chuckle. Lord of the Rings, not enough people die. George R. R. Martin, probably.
Wait, people actually die?
Monk, I need to.
I had no idea. I better watch that. Sounds horrific.
Aye. All that being said, though, Rip was my addition to what I watched this week. What have you watched this week, good sir?
What did I watch this week?
Starfleet Academy, of course. Your favorite.
Starfleet Academy is probably the only live action thing I've watched in the last week.
Are you not keeping up with Fallout right now?
Well, I'm going from the fact that I already from the last thing I watched. So it would have been like live action. It would have been Starfleet Academy, the last one I watched this week. Fallout's the day before, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the day before. So it wouldn't be the last thing. The last thing I watched. But I've been watching anime, or a lot more anime.
More Gundam or other.
I haven't been watching Gundam because there's nothing new. If there was new Gundam, I'd definitely be watching it. And I'm looking forward to finding out what they're doing about the new Gundam movie. I know it's been greenlit. It's been greenlit and talked about for years and years and years and years. But we're getting Voltron first. Unfortunately, I would prefer Gundam.
They're not. They're totally separate franchises, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just whoever's in charge of them is in charge of both.
I don't think so. I just think that
Voltron happens.
Voltron is further along, whereas I think Gundam is still in the creative side of it rather than the production side of it. But they've both been green lit because that's what I remember reading. I can't remember where it was I read it, but it's definitely happening. Just when. But I have watched. I watched a few animes over the weekend. I finished watching Sword Art Online.
Oh, Chazz has always told me I need to watch it, and he always gets mad at me when I say.
Oh yeah, you should. But don't forget there is a movie that's sort of in between. So you got like 2 seasons of Sword. I think you got 2 seasons of Sword Art Online, then the movie. It's a 2-hour animated movie, I think.
Do you watch Hunter x Hunter? or Hunter x Hunter or whatever it is?
Not yet. That's on my list. I'm looking into the possibility of. Well, I'm thinking about watching My Spy Family. I'm not sure yet. I might take a look at it and decide when I watch an episode or two. But I kind of like the Apothecary Diaries. They're pretty good.
That's an anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
I feel like I saw that somewhere.
I think we're getting a season 3 this year. I think so. Yeah,
is that a Netflix one?
I think it is on it. It is on Netflix.
Did you watch Blue Eye Samurai?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I loved that one.
I can't remember. I haven't read up to find out what's going on, if they're doing a season 2 or not.
Oh no, season 2 I think comes out this year. Let me grab my phone over here. My phone is not charged a single percent this entire stream. We've been streaming for 2 hours.
I would say turn the switch on, but your sockets in America, you don't have switches on your sockets, do you?
No. Oh my god, that's so bright right there too.
It's an important safety measure in the UK. It stops you from getting electrocuted if you put your finger in the hole. It doesn't matter really because the hole's too small to stick your finger anyway. So what's the point?
But I couldn't feel my morning jolt of electricity if that was the case.
Well, that's what coffee's for.
I'm not a big coffee person.
You're not drinking the right
much
coffee.
More electricity. So, okay,
well,
2
seasons with a taser in it.
Season 2, episode 1. Does it tell me when it drops? Tell me when. Come on, IMDb Pro. It's supposed to have all the good stuff. It doesn't have all the good stuff right now. Okay. Nope. We're Googling if there's an actual release date then.
No. Well, the last full season of anime that I watched was Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. Which is actually not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay, so it's suggested late 26, and if they're dropping it episode by episode, it could lean into 2027, or it's just going to be early 27. That's a shame. Isn't there an anime called Black Lotus that's related to Blade Runner? Yeah. Oh, Blue Eye this year. Yeah. Freerun? Is that what that is? You have an Italian 4K Blu-ray player? I'm confused. Franken-Airs?
You need one of them. You need one of them multi-plugs that has a hole for every single European plug.
Yeah, those are handy. I always get so confused when I'm traveling.
But then, depending on where you are, the voltage would be different as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the right reason why we have switches on the sockets on ours, is because our voltage is higher, which means it's more likely if it shorts, it's going to cause a fire.
Yeah,
because we have
that would be nice to have a universal outlet, but common sense.
Blu-ray don't play anymore.
Too difficult. Oh no. We have electric kettle.
I've only got a few Blu-rays. One of them is actually the entire series for Full Metal Panic. I'm trying to find the books for them, but I can't. They're hard to find, and there's a new series that they've written a new series of a new volume for the books, and they're working on a new series of Full Metal Panic, which is something I'm looking forward to. But it's not going to carry on at the end of the 4th season, which is a shame. But it's going to be them grown up with kids, where they talk about what happened, and they have flashbacks, which is going to be interesting because it's going to be nice to see what happens to the two main characters, because the way they separate. If you haven't seen Full Metal Panic, I really do recommend it.
I don't
get it mixed up. do not get it. You are?
Somebody told me to watch it. I just can't remember who did.
Probably me.
Yeah, that would make sense too.
It is a good show, but you don't have to watch the third season. The second season, sorry, which is for Mofu. That's kind of a side series. It doesn't really have any real part to the story.
Huh.
It just adds more to the characters, if that makes more interest for the character, because it's like each episode is like 2 or 3 separate stories, and it sort of splits off. And there's like 12 to 13 of them. I can't remember exactly how many stories, but how many episodes there were. But it's a great show. It's a really good show. I like it. If you like mecha, it's quite a good show. Kind of like Robotech, Gundam, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But more grounded, I suppose. It's not one that's happening in space like in Gundam or Voltron or whatever. So yeah. That's probably one of the only few Blu-rays I've got. And the only thing I've got to play them is a PS4. Thank God. Glad I haven't got a new PS5 because they don't have a disc drive.
Yeah, at least the Xbox Series X allowed you to get a drive or not.
Oh, the newer ones don't, do they?
I guess the newest ones. I don't know. I guess I'm not familiar if there is an option or not. I would hope there is, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
But at least the PS5, the new version of the PS5, they give you an option to buy the drive and fit it yourself, which is what a lot of people were hated about it, because it means you've got to spend about the same amount as it costs to buy the bloody console.
Yeah. I found I've had it for years and I love it. It was like I think it's only like $110, $120, but it was only like $70 or $80 when I got it on discount. This 10 terabyte external hard drive. And it's not like a fast one or anything. So if you want to play one of the games that's downloaded on there and you need fast internet, you have to undownload a game from the internal hard drive to the external hard drive and vice versa,
Well, why don't you just install it to the SSD, to the external drive, sorry. I've got to get an SSD. My computer needs an SSD, but then again, I need a new fucking computer. Well, I mean, especially if I want to play Space Engineers 2, Space Rupture, that looks great. I need a better PC.
In this chat, Alex is saying people should microwave tea, and all of y'all Brits are I think, going to war. It's pretty great. Hey, Mr. Kitty asked real quick, which one's best? Honestly, we're about here. We're at 2 hours. It's probably our time right here. This is a good way to.
Well,
end it right.
Technically, Space Engineers 2 has been released. I think it's still under the beta though, so it's still under testing. They haven't, but it is actually released. But like I said, it's not the complete game because they're still working on it. But you can actually get it on Steam, easy.
Oh, Space Engineer 2. Nice. So which one's better?
I mean, I've got it. I've got Space Engineers 2, but I can't play it because my system can't handle it. But I bought the bundle for Space Engineers and Space Engineers 2.
Do you have a favorite out of these guys here? Nintendo, Xbox, VR, PlayStation, or PC? I don't know what Xbox LA is.
I don't play VR, partly because I don't have the VR stuff, and my PC certainly won't let me use VR. If I had the ability to use VR, then definitely would be. But I'll be using it for things like DCS World. What else? VR horror games like was it Station? I can't remember what Station 13 is it, or Station 18? Station 8.
Station 13 sounds familiar.
It's like it's just a scary game. You're walking down a corridor. I think it's in VR, and you're walking down a corridor, and you got to notice every little bit of detail. Otherwise, you end up having to start again. And at certain points, there's something there that will attack you and kill you at certain points, and you never know when it's going to happen.
Okay, I think you've told us about that before.
It's pretty cool because I was watching someone on YouTube playing it, and they were doing it in VR, and they were walking down a corridor, and they said, right, okay, so I must have missed something because I'm starting again. It's like because the number of the hall, the number of the floor you're on is at the beginning. So if you walk down the corridor and you don't notice something, it literally starts you again, and you walk around the corner, walk another corner, and then you're on the same street, same road, same path, and the number is the same as the one you've just walked down. So you've just literally started again. So he was walking down there, right? And he said, "Oh, wait, hold on, that door's open. Was that open before?" And then he turned around. He turned to look away, and then he turned back round again. He's like, "I don't remember if it was open or not." And he started walking past it. And all of a sudden, this monster comes out and attacks him, and it screams his head off. It's brilliant. It just happens at random.
Those and like the Alien Isolation games, I've always been so interested. I just never dive into.
I've got Alien Isolation, but I haven't played it yet. I never got a chance to before, but I do have it.
Do you? I guess you said VR if you can down here. I'd say PC is the most consistent for literally what Peter was just saying right here. Is a $2,000 PC is always going to kick PS5 or Xbox.
Not even that. I mean, you just update it, upgrade the graphics card, and your PC is going to be much better than a PlayStation.
Yeah, like what Icarus.
But it all depends on how old. My PC is old. My PC is about at least 10, 15 years old. It's just an upgraded, refurbished computer. I have an RTX 1050. That's my graphics card, and I can barely do anything with that.
Freaking. They're still going about tea. Alex is talking about tea. I saw the bottom of Harris's mug. It's microwave safe. Definitely not. Definitely not. I do have a little. I guess not. It's not an electric kettle. It's just a convection thing to keep my tea warm, and I like it.
Speaking of mugs, I noticed that someone actually ordered one of my mugs. It's great.
I wonder who it was.
I have no idea. I can't remember his name.
Oh, I was trying to make the noise. I didn't even get to the tea. And it's too hot to make the noise when I get there.
Are you late?
No, I don't think Xbox is dead remotely.
Xbox. You got to remember, Xbox is part of Microsoft. It won't get killed off.
And it's doing just fine. I think it's doing better than PlayStation. PlayStation is like by far the worst system out of any of these systems. Not even close. I don't think. That being said,
I don't agree.
It has the best focused games. What are what's the term I'm blanking on right here? Games only on PlayStation.
Platform only games, so certain platforms only. So
platform exclusive. That's what I was looking for. Thank you,
exclusive.
that's the word I was looking for. They have the best.
Xbox has Halo. Xbox has a Halo, and PlayStation has what? I can't even remember what's exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation. They have Ghost of Tsushima. They have Spider-Man.
Wasn't Spider-Man exclusive to PlayStation because of Sony? Because it was produced by because the films were Sony.
But then again, you can just play it on computer. I don't know. People that love PlayStation. I've always been an Xbox person. I played a bunch on, I guess, multiple things. Xbox's ease of use outdoes PlayStation for the next 20 years. Sony and PlayStation Network is bleh. Not Sony. I love Sony. PlayStation Network and PlayStation are Game Pass alone outdoes anything PlayStation can do for the next 10 years. Sadly, I wish the competition were better.
I seem to remember, wasn't Metal Gear an Xbox game?
Originally, yeah. So Xbox has kind of stated that they're no longer doing exclusives, which I think is better because they get more profit to make more things. So I think it makes more sense to not have exclusives over time. I don't think PlayStation's on that because they can still make it for cheaper.
I think there are games that are too restricted on console. If you look at Grand Theft Auto 5, that has such a huge restriction that on PC you have 5M, so that you can actually play on servers that are owned by people, and you can have proper role play and everything like that, and it's great. I'd love to get on. There's a server I would love to get onto at some point, but I need to upgrade my PC before I can do that. But I think it's too restrictive for consoles because I mean there are a lot of people that they have a console, they don't have a PC. They might have a laptop, but the laptop might not be capable of playing certain games. And and they play games on the console simply because that's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
So I think they need to do something about the restrictions. They need to lift the restrictions for consoles so that they can cross-platform properly. I think it's only recently
Xbox does that far better, thankfully, because it is kind of multi-platform thanks to Microsoft. So they're naturally much. I think
better. there are some well-rounded crossover games. So they cross over all platforms. I think it was Fortnite. I think is one of them. That's a cross-platform that can go console, PC, and
cell phone
against each other. Yeah,
yeah, and your cell phone even.
Yeah. So, but I can understand. I can understand why something like Grand Theft Auto has the restriction for a console, because obviously a console player will always be overpowered by someone on the PC because the PC has more keys, more commands that they can do, whereas the console is restricted by how many buttons are on the controller. Now, I can understand
there are
that.
fancy controllers, but shoot, how many people have those?
I mean, you can literally link a wireless keyboard to a PlayStation or an Xbox, easy.
And then there are a lot of people that play on PC that hook their controllers to it as well.
Well, yeah, that's because most of the time they're using Xbox brand controllers, which means that they can link to a desktop anyway. Well, I don't know if they can. I think it's harder for them to link to an Apple Mac or something though, because of the branding issue.
Sony and Apple, just keep it simple and start being able to share with people, y'all. Sony for video games, Apple. Everybody that doesn't have an Apple phone.
Icarus.
Come on.
That's the thing. That's one side where a console has an advantage over a PC, because on a console you can have auto lock, automatically. It will automatically lock onto a target at certain, in certain when you're pointing towards it. Basically, in a lot of cases. Especially some of the older games. I think Grand Theft Auto did it as well for consoles, but on PC you don't have that. You can have it, but then it's considered a modification, which means you're bad. If you're playing online on a server, 9 times out of 10 you get booted and banned.
Yeah,
so, because a mod is cheating. So,
These things happen.
Yeah.
Well, it is 12:51 around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
8:51 for me.
8:51. We'll shoot for Sci-Fi Sundays again next week if you're down, huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh yeah. I was about to say I don't think we have a Stargate Outpost this week because we had one this past week. Besides that, y'all, we'll see you at Farscapetrion for our Patreon members tomorrow. And just letting y'all know, Patreon is up and running again, or I guess has been running for a while, but memberships are now up and running again. If you ever want to take a look at those, no pressure. Just if you ever want to check it out, of course. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff just before I forget to do all that. And I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow for Farscapetrion if you're a Patreon member.
And I have been a sci-fi historian.
He is, and always shall be. And then, besides that, we'll see you Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning for us, UK and US wise. for Fallout, and again on Friday to talk about the episode, and then we'll see you back here on Sunday. So see you a few times throughout the week. This was a damn fun stream. There was a lot to talk about. I think it was the most focused we've had on stream for a long time. We had about an hour 45 completely about Star Wars, which is pretty solid. We usually rabbit hole. This time our rabbit holes were even about Star Wars. What's kind of fun. All that being said, we appreciate y'all. We will see you this week. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. I will say hi to Wagner Mora for you, and I will remind me on Tuesday/Wednesday. If you're up at Tuesday at midnight, remind me. Also, I wanted to try this out a little bit. Let me know if y'all like I have a little outro that we're going to try out. So after Melvin tells you exactly where you can find him, everything you need to go to subscribe and watch from him, we'll try that and get on out of here. Where can people go to get to you, good sir?
Hey, find me on YouTube at Quest RRC or Quest G30 on YouTube. So G30 is also available on Twitch and Rumble, and I'm looking at going on to Kick with that as well at some point. I haven't done a live stream of a computer game yet, but I will be this week. I've been working on some technical issues, but yeah, hopefully they've been solved. So yeah.
Speaking of, we did actually just make a Facebook page yesterday, and in I think 60 days we can start streaming to there as well. So that'll give us another streaming destination, and it's gonna be fun. Thank y'all for hanging. This has been SciTrek and Sci-Fi Sundays. We love and appreciate y'all. Stay cosmic, SciTrekkers, and see you in the stars.
Later all.